New on Curiosity Stream. She was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. Hey, so to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast an unnamed man from Sussex, England. Now, today's honoree, he is a wanted man by law enforcement, several warrants out for his arrest, and we don't know what crime he committed, but authorities have been looking for him for months. Well, they caught a break earlier this week, and by caught a break, I mean the man turned himself in, quite simply. He rolled up to the police station on Wednesday. Now, he did not turn himself in out of any sense of civic duty or because of the guilt of whatever he had done or because of the stress of avoiding capture and looking over his shoulder. Now, he turned himself in because he wanted to get away from the people that he had been living with for the last few months. They annoyed him so much, he rolled up to the police station and basically let them know, I want to go to prison for, and I quote, peace and quiet. Wow. Yeah, the police obliged and they locked his ass up. Don't know how long he'll be in there, but he was like, look, it's better than being with these people. Now, I do not know if these people were his family, if they were friends, if they're other fugitives, but he just could not take it anymore. He's like, I've been there for months. He's like, they suck. Seriously, they're driving me crazy. I'm glad you guys put like an APB out on me because I want to go to jail for quiet. And the cops apparently are somewhat accommodating, like, you're trying to get him kind of a quiet so.
That is wild.
Think about that. They've been looking for you. You've been hiding. And finally, you're like, you know what? You guys suck so much, I'm going to prison.
I need my own room.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing, too,
peace and quiet.
If somebody's going to allow a known fugitive to hide out, like, I bet it's a lot of loud partying and craziness.
That, as I noodled through this, initially I'm thinking, it's his family. Then I'm like, no, because I kept saying the people he lived with.
Yeah.
So you're right. The people that go, oh, you're a wanted felon? Yeah, man, stay here. Just, they're that annoying. I need some slaves. Shut up. So let's drink to him. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault. Shame on.
And on Bad Choice Friday, science has now chosen the most hated bands of all time based on a little algorithm that they came up with using science and math. Some of the bands in the top 20 include Oasis. Green Day is on that list, as well as Coldplay, Radiohead, Fish, Mumford & Sons. We took the top 2 and put them head-to-head. That would be Limp Bizkit. They came in at number 2 as the most hated band. The tune was Nookie, and that took on the number 1 most hated band, Nickelback and Rockstar. Mike, how was the voting?
You know what? It wasn't as close in the beginning as it was at the end there, Miles. They heard your plea of wanting the quesadilla, but ultimately, they wanted the Nookie more.
You're kidding me. Limp Bizkit wins.
Limp Bizkit.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, all the Macholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Tim.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today: Jimmy Kimmel,
James Kimmel,
James Fallon,
Jamie Fallon,
Seth Meyers,
Seth Meyers,
Trevor Noah,
Trevor Noah,
Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right there. That's right. All these guys have teams of professional writers covering the monologues each and every night, and it's up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
A man in New Jersey built a giant Lincoln Memorial out of snow in his front yard. At first, he tried to make the Washington Monument, but the neighbors called the police.
Seth Meyers. Ted Smith.
Jimmy Fallon.
A man in New Jersey built a giant Lincoln Memorial out of snow in his front yard. At first, he actually tried making the Washington Monument, but the neighbors called the police.
Do you know what the Washington Monument is? An obelisk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the name of the structure, as far as it.
Yeah, I never knew that till 2014. Grew up there my whole life.
You ever gone up there to the very top?
Actually, no. I've been in the White House, I've been in the Capitol, all the Smithsonians, but I've never been up in the monument.
It described to me as the same way you described the Ark in St. Louis. Like when you get to the top, it's just
cramped,
not
tiny.
a lot of room, just small kind of thing.
Yeah, up in there.
Up in that.
According to a new survey, 74% of people who drink wine usually drink 1 or 2 glasses in a sitting. But 9% drink at least 5 glasses or just finish the entire bottle. And 100% of these people are called wives or girlfriends.
Me, Ted Smith. Yep.
Yeah, that's me. It's funny because it hits home for everyone, Mike.
Why don't you just open a bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Well, then I have to drink the whole thing.
Go date a beer drinker.
You know, I've definitely dated beer drinkers, but there's just, I say this all the time. Like, women and guys are just different on some things. For whatever reason, women just seem to prefer to sit around with wine.
Love wine?
And dudes prefer to sit around and slug some beers.
Well, trust me, guys have a better chance of hooking up if it's wine night. I mean,
yeah.
Instead of IPA night.
I brought your wine.
I'm messed up off 2 of these. I'm going to bed.
Do you guys call him Louis or Louis?
Who?
Louis Vuitton. I know it's Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has a sweater that is covered in puppets. The sweater goes for about $8,000, which is a small price to pay for something that'll get you mauled outside of a kindergarten.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, Fallon.
Kimmel.
Louis Vuitton has a sweater that is covered in puppets. The sweater goes for about $8,000, which is a small price to pay for something that will get you mauled outside a kindergarten.
When I first heard that joke, I thought he said puppies. And I was like, is Louis Vuitton just making a joke? Sweater, puppies.
Surely Peter won't care.
Right? Like, we put stuffed puppies on this sweater. I see what you did, Vuitton.
Yeah.
I see you.
Oh, puppets. Never mind.
French are crazy. According to a new survey, people under 35 are 3 times more likely to have nude photos of themselves on their phone, while people over 35 are more likely to have a really close-up picture of a mole.
Seth Meyers?
Seth Meyers.
Yeah, that's fine.
According to a new survey, people under 35 are 3 times more likely to have nude photos of themselves on their phone, while people over 35 are more likely to have a really close-up picture of a mole.
You guys ever get stuck, like, looking at movies and stuff, whether you're cable or your Netflix, and then, for whatever reason, you know you shouldn't, but you watch them, you watch that movie.
Which movie?
Rarely.
All right. I just want to put out a PSA, and I like Pauly Shore. I hope he's doing all right in life.
Come on.
Well, his mom is the owner of the big comedy club in L.A.
Is she still with us?
She might not be, but he still owns a club.
Right.
So, like, she did that for years. That's kind of how he got his break.
So it was a Pauly Shore movie, and I was like, you know what?
Come on, man.
It was awful. It's called Guest House.
It's a Pauly Shore movie.
Right, but I liked Encino Man.
I get you. It's a Pauly Shore movie.
Is he still playing that Pauly Shore type character?
Yeah, basically he's a guy that lives in the guest house. This couple buys this awesome house, but he's in the guest house and he parties a lot, and it causes them to almost break up.
If you're going to play the same part, it's like the Ernest Goes to Camp series. You're like, you know what you're getting.
But at least they started it with Ernest.
If Ernest Goes to Paris, you know what you're getting.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Hey, Garcon.
What you mean, Vern?
Yeah, right? It's the same thing. So,
Right, but wasn't Ernest for children?
Yeah,
no,
more or less.
I mean, adult children. I mean,
When I was a kid, we watched Ernest all the time. So
Yeah.
I think those characters are easy. Pauly Shore at this point, it was just kind of, I don't know. I'm just telling you, don't watch it.
It's Pauly Shore.
Right, Guest House.
worse than Encino Man.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Encino Man, though, had parts. Now, granted, I haven't seen Encino Man in years. All right.
I like it. You're stunned. I can't believe how bad this movie is.
I don't pick those things. I just watch them as they appear on the guide. So I'll like last night was Old School. So halfway through that, I'm like, this is good. I forgot.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great movie.
I was trying to find something new. Let's see. Thrill, you watched How I Met Your Mother, correct? That was big in you.
The first couple of seasons, yeah.
So Jason Biggs, apparently he was scheduled to have the role of Ted Mosby.
Ted Nosebleed?
Mosby. But it went to Josh Radnor. In a recent interview, Jason asked him about it, and he said, basically, he's like, that's my biggest regret in acting.
Really?
Right. And, like, look, he's saying, like, big picture, I have no regrets, but he's like, that show turned out to be a monster.
It was a monster hit. And the guy that played Ted is the guy I liked the least.
Yeah. Well, he's the character you end up liking the least.
Yeah. He's just whiny all the time.
That's why I had to stop watching it.
It's also back to like the bad bands on Bad Choice Friday. It's like these guys have been very successful.
Oh,
So
they've
if you're at the point in your career where you turn down roles based on the fact that you have other jobs, you know what I'm saying? Like other things lined up or whatever. Like obviously it's not situationally what you wanted, but you are
because you're working.
a highly sought out working actor. So one way or another.
So we're going to hire someone who looks just like
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
Well, you got to keep in mind, too, is that's still like, what, like 2005, 2006?
Yeah, so he's still riding a little bit of the American high.
But he's still a movie actor. Right? Like, we've got pretty used in like the last 10, 15 years to seeing massive movie stars that come over to TV. But back in the day,
never.
That was a massive, like, it was like, if you cross over to TV, they'll never put you in a movie again.
It was unheard of.
It was
Right.
a step back.
Yeah, right.
So he even admitted that. He was like, okay, do I really want to do TV? Now, in retrospect, you see all these big stars that come back to TV now. Mark Harmon. And have giant roles. Mike, you probably don't even know Mark Harmon was in movies.
I caught him in some movies late in his movie career, I would assume, but
All right.
I don't know if I knew him for his Mark Harmon movies.
There's none.
Summer School.
Summer School.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one.
My zipper was broke.
Yeah, my zipper was stuck. That's all you need to know. Best line of the movie.
We're fans of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sure.
We talk about her legs often. You know what?
Is that it?
It's because of the one movie, True Lies, right?
Or Trading Places.
Right. but
True Lies, I think, kicked it up a notch.
Right. She's hanging right. Tia Carrera's in that one as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel old. It's been 27 years since that movie came out in theaters.
Damn.
CBS is developing a TV show. James Cameron, who directed the movie, he's on board as the producer. No word if Arnold or Jamie Lee Curtis or any of the original cast members will be there. But Seems simple enough. It's the same plot, right? Suburban housewife discovers her boring husband is actually an international spy. She's thrown into a life of danger when she joins him on a mission to save the world.
The only problem with that is the I don't know, just the Cameron aspect of it. Like, if the Mandalorian was like, and George Lucas is behind this entire project, I'd be like, oh, no!
But it's different because Cameron hasn't done anything so awful. Like, George Lucas went back to the source of what made him popular.
Was pretty bad.
Yeah, but he's made other movies. Okay. I thought Avatar sucked, but it's like, that's just a movie he made that I don't like. George Lucas went back and just crap. He gave us Jar Jar Binks. I rest my case.
So sometimes I just
no
think
further questions.
A fresh reboot is never a bad thing. You know,
well, also with James Cameron, you got to keep in mind, he's mostly known for being a director. He directed the movie. I mean, he might just be one of those people like, we got to give him a producer credit, give him some cash on this.
Okay.
Right? Like, I can't imagine he's going to be too hands-on. I mean, that was, right, like Quentin Tarantino, sometimes they use his name, and then you realize, like, he didn't direct that movie. He just was a producer.
Right. He loaned you some cash.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, get this going. Another reboot? Clue. This one seems all right, though, because it's going to be animated.
Okay.
Yeah. The game was released in 1949. That explains a lot.
The parlor and all that kind of stuff.
People have a library, you mean?
Yeah, just weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like the gun was old and everything. Like
even people have dining rooms. I mean, that's antiquated now.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm looking for an open concept.
Library, not the library, but the study.
Right.
I mean, Jesus, how many rooms do you have in this home?
I didn't realize in 85 there was a comedy version of the movie that was in the theaters that had 3 possible different endings.
I did not see even one of them, but I remember when it came out.
Yeah, so they've been talking about doing this for years. They're not sure who's going to voice the actors and actresses, but I feel like an animated version of a board game is easier to digest than a real life version.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd think it'd be Monopoly, based on the fact that there are already cartoon characters in the game.
Yeah, good point.
There is, but I feel like with Monopoly, like, they already kind of have those shows, right? Like, flipping houses shows or buying real estate. Like, these shows are massive. Home improvement stuff. I mean, you know the big joke about the couple buying the homes, right? You know, it's like, I'm a yoga instructor, and he's like, yeah, like, I teach. Right. So our budget's $600,000.
I know, you're like, what?
Shut up.
Where do you do this?
Well, my dad was loaded.
Yeah, it's always.
By the way, the furniture king of the Southwest,
right?
Nathan, Arizona.
That's just a crazy one. It's always like, you gotta be get real.
Well, the for the show is if you're like someplace in Arkansas, they're like, our budget is $17, and you still end up with a 5-bedroom house.
I got a pool,
right?
Man, have you seen the pools and hot tubs in Texas freezing?
Yes.
It is insane down there.
I would love to have a hot tub or a pool freeze.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be real cool. You know why? Because I'd have a hot tub or a pool. Then I could walk on it and take a picture and go, look, my pool froze.
I know. Woe is me.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. Like, oh, no.
My in-ground pool's frozen.
My runway is frozen.
Right. Couldn't even land my private
I can't take my plane out of here.
A lot of people, nerds. They go to conventions and stuff, and they want to meet people and pay money to go get autographs and pictures for people that have been in, I don't know what you call that world. I mean, I got to stop calling them
It's
nerds.
the con world, right?
Right, and like, what do you call...
Whatever con you have. HorrorCon, Comic-Con.
I've been to HorrorCon.
Have you?
HorrorCon 4! HorrorCon 4!
Down to Carson City.
Had to fight my way out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing you made it out all right.
Yeah.
Used your penis as a weapon.
By day 3, I was on HorrorCon finished.
No, I'm good. I can't.
Now I've just been living in a house with a bunch of women.
That ATM doesn't even know my card now.
Right. I don't care why you don't like her.
Right.
Anyhow, conventions are a massive thing. Oh, you know what? Pop culture conventions.
Yes, pop culture.
Sounds much better than calling them Nerd Facts or Nerd Fest. Nerd Fest 32 Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Where more people get laid than any other convention.
Yeah, no doubt.
So this is kind of weird. The Walking Dead obviously fits into that.
Sure.
You got zombies and stuff. So that
have a cult group of people to love.
Genre is the word you're looking for.
Genre. Thank you.
Like, how long I'm just watch them insult everybody? No, man, like nerdy, goofy, silly people.
Right, genre. Right. That genre of stuff. So sci-fi, people, the living dead, all that stuff. But when some of the actors, when they were working on The Walking Dead, they were paid extra not to go. One guy that played Abraham on The Walking Dead for 2 years, he says the actors were paid more to limit the convention schedules. Basically, some people, and I don't blame them, they were doing them every weekend, right? Because, I mean, Comic-Con in San Diego, I know.
That's an annual thing.
And that's like the biggest one, right? And then up here we have Emerald City, Comic-Con.
Which is actually another really big one for the West Coast.
Right. But there's cons every weekend where if you work on The Walking Dead, you can go do it. But the problem is people were getting too busy doing the cons that it was interfering with the work schedule. Okay. So they were like, you know what?
What did you make on that? $20, $20,000 a weekend? Like, we'll just give it to you, right?
Right. So they were like, all right, we'll just bump up your actual salary.
Wait.
Okay.
I want you to think about this in the context of any job of anyone listening.
You thinking about RadioCon?
No, my idea is this, like, hey, man, sorry I'm running late today. I went to a convention where people are paying. Right? Any other job would be like, well, you're fired. Like, if you do this repeatedly, like, this is not it interfered, but it is interfered. You lose your job. But you're telling me in Hollywood, like, yeah, man, sorry I'm late for the production, but I was signing autographs. Like, tell you what, if you can just come to work on the goddamn time that we agreed for me to come to work, like every job on earth, we'll pay you more. Yeah. Just think about this concept for a minute, because guys, we might not be back next week. Hey, I know, we're supposed to be on at 2. We started at 4. We were at RadioCon. Can we get a raise because we're irresponsible to our job? Because I scheduled this in plate. What the hell?
Well, I think it was more of just flights.
I don't care, Ted. That's a deal. That is a deal.
The guy also said, like, Norman Reedus, he was such a big star that he could only do cons here and there because basically he had to meet so many people. It took a toll on him, like, physically.
That was like 6 hours in a line or whatever. Taking pictures, autographs.
Right, and I mean, I don't care how big of a star, you know what I mean? Unless you're like a crazy star, like I'm sure Norman Reedus, like you watch somebody stand in line for 5 hours. Right. You got to suffer through the next hour.
I'd be like, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music, from King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro. Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case. Dude, no way. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida man masturbating in Walmart parking lot tells cops he's lonely, as his girls in Colorado. Meanwhile, newlyweds find out the sun at their hotel had a one-way glass mirror, and everyone could see down below. So you get out by a scarf that looks like two boobs a-hanging. Dad of newborn runs off with girlfriend's mom, who he was a-banging. And a Florida woman repeatedly stabs her sister with an EpiPen, saying that she is allergic to drunks. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, we take to the internet for our top story, where there's a new form of warmwear making a splash online. It's called boob scarves. And they look just like you think that they would. The fabric has the shape and feel of a normal scarf, but at the ends of said scarf are two large orbs, complete with areolas and nipples. They even make small enough, they make them small enough so that you can use them to keep your dog warm in colder climates. You and your dog can match with your boob scarves.
I want to give my dog a boob scarf.
I kind of do.
There's nothing creepy or weird about that.
Can you imagine my little Brillo pad walking around with big old boobs just hanging off of his chest?
It's just part of my wish list.
That's right. Another news, a newlywed couple on their honeymoon in South Korea are seeking therapy after their stay in the hotel. The couple had enjoyed the amenities of the hotel, particularly the pool and sauna. The wife had used the sauna on several occasions, bearing all in the name of comfort and relaxation. But out and about in the hotel one day, she noticed that the sauna she had been using had a two-way mirror that guests potentially could have taken advantage of to peek in on them while they were nude in the sauna. They said that they're seeing a therapist after the revelation. So apparently there's...
a therapist?
Someone saw you naked. So
Yeah.
what? I mean, you walk into a doctor's office and take off your pants to somebody you don't even know.
Yeah, but
Even when it's not my doctor.
I know.
You're supposed to be naked there. Like somebody spying on you is different.
Right. Well, and there's the creep factor to it. You know, anybody in this room, I mean, we're uncomfortable if somebody has looked at us naked. Feel like somebody else possibly there, let's take that into Jedi level as far as discomfort goes, if some just weirdo is staring at you while you're in the sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? And the thing is that the hotel said that there was some sort of a drape that they should have pulled down in front of it that they didn't, which I don't know why that's accessible from the outside.
Right.
But it is. I don't know why you need to look into the sauna, maybe to see if it's empty, but...
Now, why should you be able to look in the sauna in the first place?
That seems strange.
It does. Why do we need a mirror in the sauna? I don't need to look at my naked-ass body.
That's a different thing. I mean, if you're in there, steam that bad boy up.
Yeah. Alrighty. A woman in the UK in line to get vaccinated found out why she was so far up the line. The woman is 32, and while she says that she's bigger than she should be, she's nowhere near the level of morbidly obese. So it didn't make sense as to why she was ahead in line of so many other people that could have used the vaccine before her until she got in to see the doctor. The doctor had to stifle laughter as he found the source of the mix-up. Instead of marking her height as 6'2", they marked it as 6.2 centimeters. Putting her BMI at a hefty 28,000.
Oh, she needed that then.
Wow. For reference, morbidly obese on the BMI scale there is 40.
So she registers 28,000.
Right.
Yeah, you need a shot.
And again, I was talking to Thrill about this earlier in the office, that this is obviously completely automated start to finish. They punch something in, hit enter, and then it logs her into a computer, puts her in the line for the vaccine, and then sends her the email. Anybody that would have seen that her BMI was 28,000...
And she's 6.2 centimeters tall.
That raises a flag.
Yeah,
it should.
It really
Something's
should.
not right here.
Maybe we marked it wrong. It's just me. But I'm going to take a second look at this thing. Goodness gracious. Sad story out of the UK. A woman gave birth and was blindsided by betrayal. While she was pregnant with her second child, she had suspicions of a relationship between her mother and her baby daddy growing a little bit too familiar. They denied the claims and went about their lives, but when she got back from the hospital with the new baby, she found that her boyfriend and her mother had both fled and moved in together. After several days, they made the relationship official on Facebook, with her mother telling her daughter that, quote, she can't help who she falls in love with.
Well,
you can also not bang your daughter's boyfriend and baby daddy.
Yes, that's
you would think that, Mike.
I mean, just call it my own personal morals, but I got to sneak in.
I don't even want to have a conversation with my daughter's friends and her. It's not that they don't have great conversations. There's just nothing relatable.
And then you want to talk to them.
It's such a difference in like everything.
And this is baby number 2 for this couple. Dang. So obviously he's been around for a half a minute. You know, the first baby's like 3 or something like that. Really?
Things been getting smooth up in her since then?
Yes, he has.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They didn't just run off.
They just got caught.
He was like...
they left.
But they didn't get caught, right? They straight up were like, we're out.
Right. And I think she said that, like, he caught him smacking his mom's ass or something like that.
That's one giveaway.
That's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Nice work, guys. Way to power through. That was
been a long week.
Yeah, tough one.
Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time for your guesses as good as mine in the random question.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.